Hillary Clinton's former campaign staffers speaking out against former interim DNC chair Donna Brazile and her new memoir, in which she claims the DNC was effectively under the control of Hillary Clinton's campaign. Brazile has a message to her critics.
George, for those who are telling me to shut up, they told Hillary that a couple of months ago. You know what I tell them? Go to hell. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell my story, George.
All right, joining us now is CNN political commentator and Hillary Clinton's former campaign manager, Robbie Mook. Good morning, Robbie.
Morning, Allison.
So there are a couple of jaw-dropping excerpts that have been released from Donna Brazile's book. Let me just dive into one of them and read it for you and our viewers. She claims the joint fundraising agreement between the DNC, the Hillary Victory Fund, and Hillary for America specified that in exchange for raising money and investing in the DNC, Hillary would control the party's finances, strategy, and all of the money raised. The funding arrangement was not illegal, but it sure looked unethical. What do you say to this? I mean, look, when people have heard this, they think that it means that the primary and the election was rigged, and that it certainly wasn't fair to Bernie Sanders. What's your response?
Well, Allison, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to talk about all this. And I just want to start by saying, you know, as a campaign, we were incredibly grateful to Donna Brazile for stepping up and taking the reins at the DNC during a very difficult time. And all of us, you know, who know Donna, consider her a colleague and a friend. You know, the allegation she's making there simply isn't true. And actually, the arrangement in question has been released. It's out in the public. Everybody can see it. And the same thing was offered to both campaigns. You know, the DNC was broke. They couldn't meet payroll. They were going to have to stop transferring money to state parties for their grassroots organizing efforts. It was a very bad situation. And both the Sanders campaign and the Clinton campaign signed agreements with the DNC. The difference was Hillary Clinton actually raised money into that. And both campaigns were told, if you raise money in, you'll have some say over how it's spent to prepare for the general election.
Right,
and things at the DNC were really bad. We had to put some guardrails in place.
Understood, but you guys did it first, and it sounds like you took a much more active role in controlling the DNC than Bernie Sanders ever did.
Well, again, this is important. We signed an agreement with the DNC at the same time, both campaigns, and at the time that we signed the agreement, the DNC said to both of us, you can both, if you raise money in, have some say over how it's spent. So we went ahead and started raising and had some say over how it was spent. Bernie Sanders didn't. So we were offered the same thing at the same time. We just took them up on it. And Allison, honestly, what's disturbing to me about this is Hillary Clinton stepped up and literally saved the DNC. State parties were able to stay operational. They were able to keep organizers on the ground because of what she did. And look, I'll be honest with you. I'm sure Donna was under a lot of pressure from her publisher to put this book out right on this election week when we have critical elections happening around the country. I wish she'd just put her foot down and said no. Said I'm not going to release it around these elections
but let me just be clear, Robbie,
we should be focused on turning voters out right now.
I mean, so you're saying she's just trying to sell books. She's just trying to sell books, and that Donna is sort of being controlled by her publisher on this.
I'm just saying I'm sure her publisher put her under a lot of pressure. I wish she just put her foot down and said, no, I'm not going to do this. What matters to Democrats right now is convincing Americans that we are going to give them a better deal than Republicans. We need to be talking to voters in Virginia and New Jersey about turning out to vote. And that should be the focus right now. And again, we are so grateful to Donna, and I to all of us who know
Robbie,
her.
I mean, you're being very
I think we're
nice.
Puzzled.
You're being well. I can understand you being puzzled because whose side is she on? I mean, these are her words. You know. I mean, you're giving her a pass for this tell-all book. She wrote this book. These are her words. So why do you think that she felt so compelled to come out with what she says is the real story behind the scenes of what was happening?
I don't know, Allison. I honestly don't know. And me and a number of my colleagues who've, you know, heard about some of it, seen it, none of us physically have this book. We certainly don't recognize the campaign she describes. We also don't recall some of the events she said that happened. And I feel worst for the staff, the hardworking staff out in the States and at our headquarters. They did everything that was asked of them and more. They work 20-hour days on a regular basis.
Yeah. So you're saying you don't
this is not
recognize
fair
what's
to
in the
them.
book.
It's
So-
fine to criticize me, but don't criticize them.
Right. So, but you're saying that readers shouldn't trust what they read in this book.
We don't recognize a lot of the situations and certainly the tone and tenor of the campaign. This was a hardworking group of wonderful people.
Yeah.
She claims that the leadership of the campaign was all male. I'll tell you that is absolutely false. And it's demeaning to our communications director, our digital director, our political director, our chief operating officer, my own chief of staff. Women were integral to the leadership of our campaign. Again, Donna stepped in at a really hard time.
Yep.
We love and respect her.
Got it.
But we need to be focused on turning out voters this week.
Okay, Robbie Mook, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us here on New Day.
Thank you.
Okay, back to our top story.